Hello, and welcome back to Wicked Warriors. You already know who I am, and Larry's on today, Wicked. And we got a couple people coming on. I know one, right?
Yeah, Jesse's coming on, and then Kimberly Nicole out of Wisconsin.
All right. So until they jump on, um, you were telling me that somebody can't subpoena somebody until the middle of a trial. Is that what you were telling me earlier?
Yeah, they have to be in trial in order to come on. I mean, in order to subpoena someone up there, is what she told me.
I'd like to know where that law is so I can look at it. I'm adding Jess now.
Okay. Are we live or?
Yes. Hi, how you doing?
Sorry. Hi,
That's
sitting in my car right now on a haircut, so I got like 20 minutes, but
how's it been going?
that's a loaded question, babe.
Yeah, I get it. Trust me, I get it. Well, you
Yeah.
look
Thank you. I
good,
appreciate it.
and you're smiling more.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of help from a friend of mine she's been amazing as far as like self-care and improving things and all that and really helped me out a lot. So,
Yeah, well, the first person you have to take care of is yourself because in order to do everything that you're doing, you have to take care of yourself first.
exactly. And that's exactly where it's been at. And that's why my mood is better.
Well, that's great. It's good to see you again.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's going on? What's the live about today?
Jam has somebody named Kim coming on. Apparently she's going through a rough time too, so we're gonna see what we can do to help her out.
Okay.
And we are live, by the way.
That's okay.
Yeah, I know. But you look so much better than the last time I talked to you.
Thank you. Is she here?
Not yet. We're waiting on her.
Okay.
Hey,
Wicked was just telling me that in one of the states that he's advocating with this girl is that they're not allowed to subpoena somebody until the middle of a trial, which makes, first off, absolutely no sense to me because why are you going to wait to the middle of a trial or wait till a trial starts to have your witnesses there? I just don't understand.
Right? That's lack of coordination and respect for sure.
well,
Right.
but here's the thing. They do whatever they want. And
That's for sure.
hold on.
But by law, you're supposed to have all your witnesses subpoenaed within a 10-day period or they can't, well, they can testify, but they're supposed to be notified within 10 days.
That would make more sense because then, like, in terms of discovery and any kind of evidence being brought to the table, it makes more sense to have notification and bringing them in the middle of the trial is kind of like, oh, surprise.
Right. That's
Nobody
right.
has time to prepare. It's an unfair advantage.
Right.
And what this poor woman told me that the DSS worker has been lying through the whole flick.
I kind of feel like that's part of their training.
And her story is just unbelievable. I'm hoping that she gets on here soon because her story is just cookie cutter as you and I have talked about it. It's nothing, and it's no different conversations just than we've had. They use the same format, just different laws to their state. But
wait a minute. Are they using laws, statutes, codes? What are they using? Because laws are laws in all states.
I'm gonna be honest, you know, I'm very frank. I don't know what the fuck they're using, but I know it ain't working. I know that. Okay, that I do know. I was just talking to my neighbor this morning, and they were saying how they can't. He's disabled, and they can't get food stamps because they make so much money. Okay, and again, but there's $83 million in surplus money here in Indiana with food stamps. Why aren't you giving it to the people?
Because they don't truly want to help the people that need it. They want to help the people that don't need it to keep them in the system. That's why.
Again, like this mom, Kim was telling me, or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't Kim. I was reading an article the other day where the federal government just slapped one of these Midwest states with withholding food stamps from people. Well, it goes back to what I've been saying and I keep preaching. That monopoly of health and human services needs to be broken up. That is too much power for one entity. I'm not even going to call them a government agency because they're not.
You know what's crazy too is thinking back to my own personal situation. One of the first things that I was told is prior to utilizing any kind of services, food stamps, Medicaid, whatever, I was told to go on the address protection program. And even it's supposed to, in theory, help you from having anybody find you, up to and including social services, because what they do with this monopoly is essentially punish you for using the services. They're saying, oh, well, their standards are, oh, you have to be able to provide for your kid. And even though it's not supposed to be something you could discriminate on, when they are trying to TPR you, they will be like, oh, how well can you provide for said child or children? And that's the first thing that's used against you, and saying, oh, well, you can't be on food stamps or Medicaid the rest of your life, yet, da-da-da-da. But not everybody woke up with a silver spoon in their mouth and has a college degree and can go to do this, that, and the third, and everybody's struggling right now. One paycheck away from being homeless. So if you have to use the services and medical treatment's outrageous as it is, and there's a government law that says you have to have insurance, if that's the only way you can get it, it's kind of like you are already preemptively a victim to the system.
Correct. I'll be right back, guys. Bye.
Well, here's the thing. It's not their money. It's not. And
Exactly.
they protect it like it's their money, right? Oh, you can't get food stamps because you make $4 over the federal whatever. But that is not that's not why the system was set up, right? And being poor is not a reason to terminate somebody's rights. It's not.
I agree. They utilize it as part of the whole thing, though.
Right. Well, and that's wrong, because did you get the cases that I sent you?
The 154, yeah.
Yeah. In there, it clearly states that a child cannot be removed because the parents are poor. They can't do that. Now, if you murdered a child, if you sexually abused a child, or you were found guilty, not by CPS, but by the courts, of physical abuse or neglect, then yes, your rights can be terminated. But just because you're poor doesn't mean anything. That's why the system is in place to help. Look, I'm all about people getting help, okay?
Right.
At one time or another, everybody's paid into this system. What they don't like is,
exactly.
right, when people are offered services, right, because that's what they do. They'll offer you the services, and it's up to you if you want to take them or not. And let's get that understood, because a lot of people think that they have to take services from CPS, and they do not. But when you
Well,
do
they
take
essentially
services,
commandeer your children and then say you have to.
and that's my point. They force you into a contract, okay, by whatever means necessary to get their money. But then I've had clients of my own say, well, Tiffany, I never got services. They offered me all this stuff and I accepted it and I didn't see anything. Where's the
Right?
money? Where's the money?
That's what I'm saying. I haven't even had services for almost 2 years now. My case plan was done in the first 60 days, and I was doing the parenting class, the whole 9 yards. I even took a second set of domestic violence classes and was doing stuff for the community, the whole 9. Not only was it not acknowledged, but they decided to throw in that parental fitness interview or evaluation, and in court, on record, they said, oh, we don't know how to help you. There's nothing wrong with me. I had a bad situation, and now I've completely stayed above board, following the line, done everything asked of me, and yet here I sit waiting on TPR.
Okay, listen, don't you two laugh at me. I don't want to hear one blithering word out of either one of your mouths. I had a senior moment. This mom is an hour behind us. So it's only 1:06.
Oh, okay.
So I told her to get on as soon as she can. I had a senior moment.
I just think it's funny you say that.
That's okay.
Senior moment. You ain't that old.
No, but I got to be honest, and I can admit this even though we're on a live. So one of the side effects of this medicine that they have me on for my back,
Yeah.
is forgetfulness.
Oh.
Okay? And both of you guys know me.
Oh, you sweet face baby.
So y'all know that
Larry,
has,
you got a lot on your plate anyway. Shit.
well,
Quiet.
a good friend of mine, Dad, who's an attorney in New Jersey, just contacted me. So AJ went to his visit yesterday. Mama and my granddaughter are sitting on the curb in Newark. My granddaughter blood is coming out of her nose. Yeah. AJ goes inside, says, hey, why is my daughter's nose bleeding? Oh, her nose isn't bleeding, but all the visits have been canceled today. Well, you know, he goes ballistic. I'm trying to tell him, calm down, call the police. Right now, call the police, tell them that there is a baby bleeding from the nose sitting on the sidewalk. Do you think to me? I just got a phone call, again, from a good friend of mine, asking me for advice in New Jersey. Her dad's a lawyer, and he's calling me because he can't navigate the system with DSS in New Jersey.
And that's another problem. Our lawyers are uneducated. Our judges are uneducated.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Wow! Priceless! Priceless!
Even the babies can figure it out. That's so sweet.
He knows what I do. He thinks that I'm a hero.
You
But
are.
that's a problem. Well, thank you, but I don't consider myself a hero. But that's a real problem. I mean, I've helped attorneys too, and I'm self-taught. I mean, if I can learn this, any lawyer should be able to learn this, right? I'm self-taught.
Listen, it's not just in the family court system. It's also in the criminal system. We need to get back to stay on the Constitution. And it's said, if you go right now on the SCOTUS blog, there is more cases about restoring gun rights than are about the 14th Amendment and child protection, health and human services being allowed to lie to take children. Now you make that make sense. And everybody knows I'm a big gun guy. I'm a Second Amendment guy all day long. So an advocate explained it to me. And I told Tiffany. They said that they don't want the responsibility of being wrong about returning a child to a parent. So they don't want to hear that case. They don't want to hear child support. Okay? Just like the IRS, third party out of Texas. That's going to get overturned. You want to know why it's going to get overturned? Because of these women's groups. All these bitter women with this child support is going to get that ruling overturned, Tiffany. You want to bet me? Well, if you read the article, it goes state by state. But we have no voice when it comes to health and human services. Dowdy. You're muted. I can't hear you.
What did you say?
What's the guy's name? The lawyer, Mr. Dowdy?
Well, let's just put it this way. I know you and I talk about this.
She said, how do I get into it now? I'm on.
She's got it. She's not on because I'm looking at the guest. She's not on. Tell her to click on and go into the studio. It's just me and you.
Hang on, let me open it up.
Jessica, you have to go into the studio if she's getting on. And I'll have to let you in. It's just me and Larry. The same link I sent you, you send her.
That's what I sent her.
Well, she should be able to get on.
No, because like mine, it just told me. Hang on. All right, I just resent it to her again.
I got it.
Hey, there's
Hi. Sorry, guys. I was confused with the time difference.
No, it's my fault.
Okay.
Well, welcome to the show.
How is everyone?
Good, good. So Tiffany was just asking me, can you take me back to, you have to be in trial to subpoena? Well, you go ahead and tell your story, and then whatever questions, we'll go from there.
Okay, so were you asking me a question to begin with? You said something about I have to be in trial.
Yeah, you have to be in trial in order to subpoena someone?
Yeah, because we're just doing reviews. We had a trial in the beginning, and I obviously wasn't guilty because I have no charges, but they said in order to get my kids back, I had to do, A, B, and C. So that's what every 3 months we have a review in front of the judge, and it's hard for me to even get a chance to talk, let alone someone else. So when I asked the clerk of court, she said that they don't really do that, and she couldn't give me any legal advice. So I've kind of just been SOL, to be honest.
So when you go to court, they're not letting you ask questions or plead your case or nothing?
No, actually, so every year we get a new judge, and this new judge, he's actually given me time to talk, but that was just on Thursday, May 16th. That was the first time I was ever able to talk, and I wasn't prepared to talk because I usually don't get to. So I couldn't even say a whole lot because I was just stumped that I was allowed to talk for once. When you get ignored for so long, you just kind of get used to it, I guess.
So you said you've already had a trial?
Yep.
And what happened in your trial?
Well, obviously I'm not guilty of anything, but they said to get the kids back, I got to do A, B, and C and work with CPS. So I said, okay, I will. And it's just been, I don't have any communication. That's probably the biggest problem with I have a good judge. It seems like everybody else is pretty decent. It's been the caseworker. She doesn't respond to me. She doesn't respond to any of my providers. And when she does respond, it's not about anything I've asked. It's about random stuff. And in fact, now I've caught her lying in court. She makes many appointments and then just doesn't show up to them. Does a no call, no show.
Are you documenting all of this?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a lawyer?
Not anymore.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yep.
Because they don't do anything anyway.
Did he happen to tell you about the last lawyer they gave me?
No.
Is actually contracted with the same department I'm going against, and she's a guardian ad litem for my caseworker on other cases. I was like,
That's
what?
a conflict.
That's what I said.
That's a conflict of interest. So what are they asking of you?
Well, I had 5 things to do. AODA, clean drug swabs, make all my visits, get mental health help, and a stable housing. All that's been done. That's the problem with the caseworker lying. January 17th of this year, and I have it in text. She says everything's done. She's talked to all my providers. Everything's good to go. The last thing she wants me to do is work on my mental health. So I went and got a therapist. Now it's almost been 6 months, and my therapist actually wrote a letter to the court explaining about all the lies, the communication, and now my caseworker has thrown like 4 or 5 other things in there for me to do. So I went and did them. But how does my caseworker know they're done when she's not calling these people to see if it's done?
See, that's a big problem, because once they give you A through D, right? You do all that. Now they're mad because you actually got it done. Now they want to do other stuff, and that's a problem.
Yeah, I know. My therapist said it's like they want perfection from me, but nobody's going to be able to do that. My caseworker says that I have bad visits with my kid, that there's major parental concerns and security concerns. And then when I talk to the people that actually do the visit, and I've recorded this, I'm very confused. The people say, no, Kim, your visits are fine. You're doing great. I was like, what the actual is going on?
When is your next review?
And this is the last one too. They just told me this in court that they can TPR me if I don't get everything done by August 13th, but everything already is done.
Do you have all the proof that it's done?
Yep.
Then my suggestion to you, you said August what? 13th?
Yep.
August 3rd, you go file it with the court so that the judge can see it before you go to court.
Yeah. It just has been going on for a year longer than it needed to. And I don't have anything to hide. I'll let you know. I was on drugs about 8 years ago. I did lose them. I got them back from the same county. Now they're here again. It's like, I feel like I'm being harassed here.
Hold on one second. I'm going to answer Brittany's question. No, they can add it, but they're not supposed to be adding anything else. And the reason your case has been dragging on is due to money.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why I tell people, once your stuff is done and you have it all for all your proof, whether you have a lawyer or not, you always file it 10 days before court.
Yeah, because I've got 3 kids, so they're making $120,000 or so a year off me.
Yeah, well, they're making a whole lot more.
Well, I just find it weird. You know, we just had court Thursday, and my caseworker tells the judge, Your Honor, I admit I missed our last appointment with Kim Macaluso. I called her, and I told her I had an emergency came up, and I told her we had to cancel it. But that's not what happened. I had to track her down. It took me an hour to track her down. And finally, I had the front desk email her, and then she called me. And you know what she tells me? I forgot. I didn't know we confirmed this meeting. I was like, what? That's totally not what's happening here.
Well, first of all, they lie. Okay? They lie. They lie on paperwork. They lie to the courts. And the courts know. They're not that stupid. I mean, if they are, they shouldn't be a presiding judge. I'm not even going to say what I really think. But I will tell you this. Their supervisors know they're lying. They know they're lying. The courts know they're lying. Lawyers know everybody knows they're lying, but there's no accountability.
It was crazy because I went to her supervisor, me and my therapist, because I've got a couple doctors involved in this and they're on my side. We went to her supervisor. I had an appointment May 2nd at 11:30. Come 11:50, she still hadn't called me again. So we called, tried to find her, nothing. She was actually supposed to be at this May 16th court date last week, and the judge asked where she was, and she wasn't there.
You said you have doctors that are on your side.
Yep.
Have them write up an affidavit for you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you submit all your evidence that you have done, all your stuff, you submit those affidavits, because affidavits are supposed to be true. Okay, so they're affidavits of truth. I'm so sorry. My husband's at work today, and the baby's just cranky.
It's okay. I did turn in a letter for this last court hearing last week, and I mean, honestly, it went over like a fart in church, because the judge acknowledged it, everybody acknowledged it, but then I had the guardian ad litem chiming in. He said, I never have a problem getting a hold of CPS, and I mean, it was just like me against the whole world. It really sucked. The judge did say one good thing. He said in his 22 years and presiding over family court, he's never had a provider reach out and complain of the same thing the parents were complaining of. So I don't know what that means, but
that's a good sign. That's why you need all these providers to write these affidavits of truth for you. Because since they won't let you subpoena witnesses to say that all this stuff is done, you submit it with affidavits from them so that the courts will see it, because the judge will see it before anybody sees it.
I wonder if there's a way I really just want the judge to know that the caseworker's ongoing lying and lack of communication is a problem. And this case should have been done a year ago, but it's just on and on, because I mean, she doesn't even know that I've got this is my 4th parenting class at that I've completed. And she's still saying I need to do a parenting class. I'm like, it's been done. What are you talking about? And I feel like if the judge knew that, I mean, he told me there was one thing I had left to do, which is my 2nd psych eval. And he said, if I had that done at this past court date, he would have been able to just give my kids back to me. So I'm hoping if I get it done this time that, you know, come August 13th, the kids will be home. But I can't go any faster than Human Services or CPS will let me. It takes them 3 months to get the dang referral in. So how can I just feel so abused here.
Well, this is what people don't understand, right? The system is meant to break parents down, break them, and make them stop fighting. Because once your kids are targeted, that's it. I mean, it's like a sexual predator, right? Once they target that child, nothing is going to stop them from getting that child, right?
Yep.
So it's no different. CPS is no different than a predator. That's what they are. They shouldn't even be called Child Protective Services. They should be called Child Predator Services, because that's what they do, right? They want you to do all this stuff because they want to hold you accountable, but guarantee you that CPS worker will never be held accountable for anything. Do you have proof that you tried to contact her?
Like I said, all my doctors are having the same issue. I've been going to these doctors for a year now. In a year, they've only talked to her twice, and that's because I called my doctor's secretary and forced her to call my caseworker and set up an actual appointment. Otherwise, they would have never talked. 2 times in a year.
Are they text messages and emails?
I got I got all of them. In Wisconsin,
okay.
One party state, but nonetheless, all my workers are aware that I record everything.
Well, that's good. Well, the problem is you can't get the recordings in, but if you have text messages and emails, you need to print those off. Submit everything. Do not be afraid to stand up to these people.
Well, see, when I had a lawyer, I couldn't submit anything because I wasn't pro se. But now that I'm on my own, I can. I think they've just been giving me these wonky lawyers just so I couldn't turn anything in. But yeah, this is just from this last week. All the screenshots, emails, I printed them out. I have all this evidence. I just don't know what to do with it.
10 days. So on August 3rd, unless it's a weekend, you file it with the courts.
Okay.
And you could have filed it anyway. You could have filed it with an attorney anyway. They just don't like when you do it. And yes, Brittany, you can get them transcribed if you can find somebody to transcribe them.
Yeah.
And you can afford it.
It's just crazy. I was supposed to get a second visit. We had court February 27th. The judge ordered a second visit, and that still hasn't happened. And I told
Did you tell the judge?
Yeah, I told them, and he said, well, they're short because they're short on staff. The county that I'm dealing with only have 3 ongoing workers. I've already had one of them, and now I'm on my second one. The judge also told them to sit down and have a long talk with their supervisor about maybe getting a fresh start as in a new caseworker. But an hour after court, I texted my worker and I said, let me know when you talk to your supervisor. And she said, about what? I said about, fresh start and all what the judge said. And she said, oh, yeah, we already talked. We're not doing anything.
Of course not. Because the judge, let me tell you something. I got to put my hands on my head because they drive me nuts, right? They don't even listen to judges. Larry has told me about cases where they have overruled a judge. They don't have the authority. Am I right, Larry? Did you not tell me?
I have it in my own transcripts where the DSS attorney overruled and rewrote the order of what the judge said.
And what do you do? I can't get anywhere with that happening. I'm following one set of rules because I think I should be following what the judge says. But then, the CPS workers come in and tell me something else. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here.
Let me stop you for a minute. I have it in my transcript. I told the DSS attorney in court on the record, I'm not listening to you. I'm listening to this judge and the criminal court judge. You have no say-so over what I do. And I will email you my transcripts. This is the part that people don't understand. When you try to tell this stuff to people that are not in this system, they don't believe it.
I know it.
But again, I say in every podcast, somebody that is in Louisiana, in the Black Bayou, cannot have the same damn story as somebody in Minnesota.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yep, I agree.
CPS has no legal authority. The only person you need to listen to is the judge.
Yeah, and when I do that, then I get told I'm not being compliant by the caseworkers in court, and because
Well, no. You know how you correct that? You say, Your Honor, I listened to what you said.
Correct.
Okay? Because only the judge has the authority.
Well, now that I know I can talk in court, I mean, the last 2 years has been hell, and I sit there and all I get to say is they ask my name and that's it. And I never got to say anything else until this last court date. So it's changed now, but it's a little too late because come August 13th, they can start TPRing me.
Well, there has to be really, really good reason, according to the United States Supreme Court, for your rights to be terminated. Now, I know everybody's going to jump down my throat. Trust me. I've been fighting these people and I've been helping people for 35 years. I know what they say. I know how they say it. I know what they do. You only listen to the judge. That's why I tell people always put your stuff in 10 days before your court hearing, because the judge is the first to see it.
I think I'm going to start turning in such stuff before that because I don't know what everybody knows.
No, because then, listen, I tell you stuff for a reason. I'm not going to tell you why on air, because if CPS is watching us, then they'll know my game plan.
Yeah.
10 days before your hearing.
But what about the stuff about, but that stuff's fine. But what about the proof about her lying? That stuff I want to turn in beforehand. Well, how am I supposed to get anything done?
Days.
So I'm just supposed to sit here for 2 months and do nothing? I've been doing that for 2 years. They're definitely going to TPR me.
10 days.
So just
do you have an huh?
So just sit here and do nothing.
Well, no. Just with the courts, 10 days. Do you have an ombudsman in your state?
No.
Okay. Did you go to the Board of Supervisors?
Yes.
And what did they say?
That I have to deal with it in that county that I'm in. I have to follow their protocol. And when I do that, me and my doctors have done that. When we do that, we don't hear back from them and we don't hear what the results were. We've tried the compliance officers and they just don't call us back. In fact, anybody I call, and our CPS is also human services. So anybody I call in that building never calls me back. So we can't get anywhere in that either.
What state are you in?
Wisconsin.
All right, so I'm going to look up some stuff for you after the live today.
Yeah.
Because first of all, anytime you go in front of the Board of Supervisors, which control CPS and their funds, you should actually be going to all these meetings and say, excuse me, I filed a complaint with you and I have yet to hear. You just got to stay on them.
Yeah, but there's no way when they don't call me back.
It doesn't matter. You show up to the meetings. You sign up for your local town halls.
I don't live in that county anymore.
What county are you dealing with?
Jefferson County.
And where do you live?
Rock County.
Okay. So go to Jefferson County website and sign up for their town hall meetings. You can do it.
We don't got stuff like that. Jefferson's not ran by federal government. They're ran by state.
No, they're ran by your own community. They're not ran by state or federal. They're ran by your local government. And I'm telling you, they have a town hall meeting every couple of months.
Oh, I've never seen it. I've been there 13 years and I've never seen it.
That's because they don't advertise it. That's why you got to go on their website and sign up for emails, and they will notify you every time there's a town hall meeting.
Okay.
It's called town hall meetings, and then you type in your area. It's ran by your local government.
Okay, I'm looking at it.
You can also file an injunction against the CPS worker and a fraud charge in the federal courts with all your proof.
Welcome to the ride, y'all.
Because every time I try to get a hold of somebody with the state or anybody outside of the human services, they all refer me back to human services and say I have to follow their protocol first before I can go any higher. But I can't get anything done there, so that means I can't go any higher.
Well, that's because they're all lying to you. They don't want to get involved.
That's what my therapist said, that they have another agenda. I can't say that, or they'll say I'm paranoid and delusional, but my therapist...
Well, you're not paranoid. Well, then I'll say it. They do have another agenda, and you are not paranoid, and you are not delusional. These people have been doing the same thing for the last 50 years.
At the first psych eval I had done with them, the lady said in an hour, this is how long I saw her, minus a smoke break, which was like 10 minutes. I saw her. She told me I didn't graduate, that I hallucinated it, and I didn't. I have my HSCD and I have pictures. She told me that my grandpa was never a sheriff in Illinois, which is not true. And then at the end of it, she said, I'm paranoid, I'm delusional, I have severe brain damage, and my brain won't heal unless I have treatment. So I went and got doctors.
So you went to their doctor?
Yeah, they were texting me on a three-way, my caseworker's personal cell phone and my doctor's personal cell phone, and they set up the meeting that way. And then I went and saw her, and it was bad news, Bob, bad.
Okay, once again, for everybody, if they make you go see their people, you either go to your person first or right after that.
Yeah.
Because their people are paid to stay on their side.
What do you do after? So now we've got the one eval that says I'm crazy and I got brain damage. And my doctors that I talk to every day, literally we text every day, they wrote the judge that last letter for court and said that none of that's true. I'm not experiencing any of those symptoms. But now I still have to go do a second evaluation with the same lady that did the first one. You
can refuse it. You can refuse it.
And then
you tell your doctor that you want them to do your evaluation and that you don't want to go back to this lady because she lied.
Because the judge said if I got this done and I passed it, he has the power to send my kids home right then and there, and he would do it.
You're not going to pass with the CPS psychiatrist. I'm telling you, I was featured in an article, and when I first talked to this lady, my exact words to her were, the system sets parents up to fail. That is a very true statement. Okay? They're setting you up for failure.
Which is so bizarre because I had this case before and I did 2 psych evals on my last case and I passed them fine. I didn't have any. They said I had ADHD and PTSD, which I know I have. And now this case around, they're saying stuff way crazy. Well, how do I get it done? So my doctors can't do psych evals. They're mental health therapists.
Why not?
Why not? They don't have the certification to do an evaluation.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah.
The same degree that CPS doctor has is the same degree that all psychiatrists have.
Yep. The court denied it.
No, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
I sent Larry the letter. I could send it to you too. We tried. That's why they want me to do the second one again.
No. If I were you, I would petition the courts before August and tell them that you are going to refuse CPSs and that you're having your own psych evaluation done because you don't trust the people with CPS. That's what I would do.
Okay. It's so hard because they got that one bad evaluation in there that says I'm basically schizophrenic, and now like nobody wants to listen to me. It's crazy.
And even if you were, okay, there's nothing in the law that says schizophrenic, disabled, anything that you can't take care of your kids.
Yeah, so that's the thing. When that first evaluation came out, I can't get a copy of the results of that.
Why?
The doctor told me that CPS ordered and paid for it, so they can't give it to me. I have to get it from CPS. I've been trying for 9 months.
You go down to the courthouse and you subpoena it. You are pro se now, and now they have to give you everything.
Yeah. Well, so I couldn't get it from the doctor. So I just said, okay, just give me the list of what it is she says I need to do and I'll do it. Well, that's when I went and got all these doctors. I tried to tell them what I needed done, these doctors, and the doctor said, we can't treat you for that if you don't have it. It's illegal. So I went back to my caseworker and I tried to tell her that. And she's like, no, you have to be treated for this. And I was like, I can't if they don't think I have it. It's illegal. She's like not listening to me.
Go down to the courthouse Monday morning. You subpoena that evaluation from that doctor.
I didn't know you couldn't get copies of your own health records from the doctor that did it. That's crazy to me.
Yes, you can.
I can get it from the caseworker, but I cannot get it from that doctor, which is nuts.
Bullshit. I don't care who paid for it.
Yeah.
I don't care who paid for it. Subpoena it.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
subpoena social services whole records.
I'll get it from the court. I just don't understand why the doctor can't give it to me.
Because she's a liar.
I never had so many problems like this. I got 5 doctors. I got my parenting teacher, the people that do my visits, which is a whole organization, a total of 4 people. So that's about 11 people that all say I'm good to go. There's nothing wrong. There's no concerns. And I'm still losing. I can't understand it.
Okay, so out of all those 11 people,
Mm-hmm.
you need 11 affidavits.
And what do I do? So like the people that do my visits are contracted with the human services.
I don't care who they're contracted with.
Well, so I can't even get a copy of my visit records, like the logs. They say it all's got to go to CPS.
Listen to me. Anything you want, you subpoena it. You subpoena their records, social services records, your medical records from this quack, the visiting records, you subpoena all of it. You are pro se now. When you go to the clerk of court, say, I'm pro se. I'm doing my own case. I have a case coming up in August and I need my records. I need to subpoena them.
So then I won't be able to get a letter from those people though about how good I'm doing, but I have text messages and recordings. Does that count for anything?
Why can't you get a letter from them?
Because they are contracted from human services. They can't do that. That's their protocol.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. They can testify for you.
They won't. I don't know. We've all tried. I even had to have my pastor come in because I was starting to think I was losing my mind. I was like, what's going on here?
Past Dutchman, if you're leaving town, past Dutchman, when you get to Innovation Boulevard, you make a left, go all the way down to the end, and it's right there on the right-hand side. About 980. Now, here's the fucking downside to it. You only get paid every 2 weeks.
I'm so sorry. I'm trying to turn iPads on and
It's okay.
get everybody quiet. If you subpoena their records, if you can subpoena them, they have to testify.
But that's how do I subpoena them when we're not in a trial? The clerk of court told me we're only in review. So nobody goes, I don't even go on the stand. Everybody sits in their place. They get their 10 minutes of talking and that's it.
Okay. So you ask the clerk of court, okay, if she is infringing on your 14th Amendment right to due process, and if she is going to continue to impede your case by standing in your way, because you have the right to access the court at any time.
Yeah, it's
Okay, so how do I file for so if my other doctors and their other companies, they can write a letter, but there's they can't write like specific details. They have like a HR department that kind of like maps out what they can write. So they can't write anything specific. But she told me, because they're all pissed off about this, she said, damn it. She said, have them subpoena me. So she was willing to talk if I could subpoena her, but I can't figure out how to subpoena her.
You go to the courthouse. You go to the courthouse. I would say, look at the calendar because I don't know when the end of July is. I don't know what date it is.
Okay.
Because they have to be served 10 days before a court hearing. So if it's in August, they have to be subpoenaed.
So CDC is running.
I think they have to be subpoenaed by August 3rd.
Okay, yeah, that's right, because that's a Wednesday. That's fine.
Right. So you go that Monday, right? And you subpoena everybody. But before you subpoena them at the end of July, you go on Monday, you subpoena everybody's records. They cannot stop you. And if they do, you give me a call.
So I could just write, because there's no motions for it. I'm on the website right now. There's no motion for subpoenas. So what, I just
No,
write it
you
on a
have to
piece of
go.
paper?
No, tell them you need a subpoena. And they'll ask you however many you need. Tell them I need, because normally on the back of a motion or a petition, on the back, there's like all these names and addresses that are blank. Those are for subpoenas.
Yeah, see, our family court doesn't have that. I'm on the website right now.
No.
Maybe it's
You
something
got to go.
that's
No. You can never get anything for juvenile and domestic offline.
Yeah, our county does.
Well, we can't because
Yeah.
it's closed.
Yeah, you can look it up. Jefferson County, Wisconsin. They have all the family court paper that you need. But that's why I couldn't figure it out. So when I went and asked the lady, and then she told me we don't do subpoenas in whatever that's called. We're not in trial. We're in reviews. They don't do that.
Okay. So the next time that bitch says that shit to you, say, are you denying me, the people, access to the court? Are you infringing upon my right to my Fourth Amendment due process? Ask her straight up. Is that what you're doing? Because you're in violation of your oath.
Okay, so I'm going to write that down so I don't forget. Yeah, and it was weird. My last attorney that I had, she didn't even want me to turn that letter in from my therapist. She said it wasn't going to be a good idea because what happens if they could ask my therapist questions? I said, nothing's going to happen because there's nothing bad, you crazy lady. She's supposed to be on my side. And she was like, well, I know she was on their side because she was friends with the damn lady.
Well, here's the problem. This is the biggest problem that I have with local courts and CPS. They all drink from the same water fountain. They already know what your disposition is before you ever walk into a courtroom. They're all friends. They all party together. They all eat dinner together. They all do everything together. That's the problem.
Yeah, and I don't know how to. The judge even said on this last court date, he said, I've been backing you. That's when he said that. He said, I've been backing you guys for 22 years. I always backed the department. But he said he found it odd. Never in those 22 years had he had a professional write out and complain about the same problem. So it was like hand in hand. He was saying he backs them no matter what. But at the same time, he's like, what's going on here?
That's because you ever look up what an attorney really is? First of all, nobody has a license to practice law. Just want you to know that. Not even a judge. Okay. They don't give out licenses to practice law. The second thing is when they take an oath, which means when they join the fraternity, they're court officers for one. They're mandators. And two, their first client is the state that they're associated with. So they don't really help people.
Yeah.
Now, the Bar Association is a British thing. The American Bar Association is for American, right? And it's federal.
Yeah.
I tell people, when I have to hire an attorney, this is no lie. If that motherfucker is not as aggressive as I am,
I know.
I can't hire you because I'll chew you up and spit you out right in front of the judge. I don't care.
I know it. And then it takes me, because I can't fire him on the spot. I got to wait 3 months till our next court hearing to fire him.
No, you don't. No, you
well,
don't.
that's what they've been doing.
Bullshit. You walk over to him, you say you're fired.
Yep. It took me that long to get that done. She said, we have to see, the judge has to preside over this and if he accepts it or not.
They cannot force an attorney on you.
See?
They cannot.
That's what they did this last time. The judge asked me February 27th, did I want a lawyer? I said, no. He said, are you sure? I said, yes, I'm sure. I've done this on my own before. I'll be okay. I'm fine. And he said, well, if you change your mind at any point, you can come in. 3 weeks later, he gave me the attorney that's already contracted with Human Services. He did. And I don't know how it happens. I
should have called him.
abused.
You should have called him and said you're fired.
That the only way I found out was that I called the clerk of court and they told me, and I said, well, I didn't even want her, so why is she on here? And she told me, well, go meet with her and see. And it was like that week I decided I didn't want her. So she said, I'm going to write up a motion to like recuse herself or whatever. And that's all I could do.
But if you don't like lobster and crab,
I don't know what to do. I record everything. So maybe one day when I get by somebody that knows what the hell's going on here, they can see it. Cause I don't know what else to do at this point.
Well, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go to the courthouse tomorrow and tell them you need to subpoena some stuff. If they ask you what, you tell them you're subpoenaing all your records. If they tell you that you cannot, you blatantly don't be afraid of these people because these people are elected. They're not appointed, they're elected.
Mm-hmm.
Are you infringing on my 14th Amendment right to due process? Are you now denying me as a United States citizen to access the court, which is my right because the Constitution says it is the right of the people to access the court at any time?
Okay.
And then you tell her that she's in violation of her oath. I guarantee you they're going to give you paper. If they do not, then I will send you my personal cell phone number and you call me and put me on speakerphone because by the time you leave there tomorrow, you should have everything subpoenaed. Now, I don't know how much it costs. A subpoena here is like $15 per subpoena. So there is a fee to it.
Should I subpoena all my doctors too? Yeah.
Yep.
They've trapped me. I'm literally not allowed to leave my house because I have to be here for these random drug swabs. But then I'm supposed to work. But how can I when I can't leave? The people that do the drug test can come till 8:00 at night. That's the cutoff.
No, then you tell them you need a specific time or date. You have to work. Are you on probation?
No.
Are you on parole?
No.
Then you don't have to do anything.
I know, because when I do miss a swab, I was working in the beginning. When I did miss them, they would count them as positive because I wasn't here.
Well, that's not fair. And
Yeah,
that's a lie.
So tell me about it. So I quit.
Okay,
I sold my car,
to-
everything I could.
Whatever. Listen, go to uscourts.gov.
Okay.
Now, there's forms on there. You can file a federal injunction against the CPS worker.
Okay.
There's also a form on there. It's $400 to file in federal court, but there's a form on there for I don't even know if I'm saying it right. For poor people like us, right? Yeah. So that those fees can be waived.
Okay.
Also print out, there's a form on there for fraud and there's a form on there to file a lawsuit. Now you're going to print those out. And you're going to take the one for the lawsuit to the courthouse tomorrow. I'm so wicked, I'm telling you. And if after everything you say to them, if they still deny you, and you don't have time to call me, because here you can't take your phones in the courthouse.
Oh, we can here.
Yeah, we can't. You're going to pull up the lawsuit paper. Okay? Let me get a piece of paper.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be difficult. This is horrible.
Listen, you're going to act like this is that lawsuit paper, okay?
Okay.
And then you're going to hold it up and say, okay, so whose name goes right here? That is defendant.
Yeah.
Because you're the plaintiff.
Okay.
And see how far that gets you.
I'm writing it all down so don't forget. I just don't understand. My first case, they talked to me once a week. We had a team meeting once a month. Now this case, My caseworker, I've had her for a year now. We have talked on the phone twice in a year. And that's
Okay,
it.
well, see, this time, I'm going to just give you what I think is going on. They're mad because you did it before and they had to come back and take them again. So this time they're like, fuck her. We're not giving her kids back because now she's shown us that she can't do it. I'm telling you, that's what it is.
It's their fault that this happened this time because I was seeing their doctor still. That's what to get my kids back the first time, I had to see their doctor. And that's who I kept seeing to get my medicine every month for a year. And it's documented. I complained and I complained and I got proof. And I said I wasn't getting my meds every fucking month. I was going through withdrawal. I was sick. My levels were all wonky. The doctor put me on lithium for all I have on my record is ADHD, anxiety, and PTSD. And I was supposed to be doing all this stuff with him, but and that doctor that I saw for a total of 10 years, I only went in the office to see him twice. Everything else was over the phone. And I told him, I said, he's over medicating me. I've had second opinions from other doctors. I said, the pharmacy won't even fill these meds because there's high risk, like with them interacting with each other. I said, so I can't even get my meds. Somebody please help me. For a year, I said that. Then March 31st of 2022, I said, listen, I'm going to end up killing myself. I'm going to die from withdrawal. I said, or I'm going to end up on drugs. What do you want me to do? Can you help me? They didn't do anything, not even put me in like a psych ward for saying I was going to kill myself. 3 months after that, the doctor is gone. And then they come and take my kids. Because I filed complaints to the state. And the doctors that I were seeing, they filed complaints.
And that's because what they were doing was illegal.
So they're mad at me for something the doctor was doing?
Okay, so there is some Supreme Court cases, United States Supreme Court cases, that clearly state just because a parent is on drugs, their kids cannot be taken, because then you stop worrying about the harm of the child and you look at the parent's behavior. And they're not supposed to be looking at your behavior. They're supposed to be looking at the harm of the child. Okay, so this is what I get from your story. There was no imminent danger. You were on drugs, but you told them what was going on. They did nothing, correct?
Yeah.
The doctor probably got fired and the DEA probably pulled his script because doctors have to contract with the Drug Enforcement Agency.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably charged him federally because I'm sure not just your other doctors, but I'm pretty sure the pharmacy people were turning him in too because that's their job.
It was a known thing in that county.
Right. So there was a problem already there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to the courthouse tomorrow. You're going to subpoena. Don't forget to take your 1983, your 42 USC 1983 paperwork with you and hold it up to the clerk if she continues to deny you your right to access the court, and ask her if her name goes there. Okay? You're going to go to that county's website and sign up. Google Town Hall for Jefferson County. Go on it. Go all the way to the bottom and sign up for emails, because I get them out of 3 counties here. Okay, so I know when the Board of Supervisors for Social Services is going to be there. You're going to get affidavits from all 11 people, and you're not going to do anything with any of your paperwork until 10 days before your trial.
Okay, and this is the trial that they decide if they're going to TPR me or not. So
right, that's why it's more than just that. I'm going to end the show now because I got stuff to do, but stay on, Kim.
Okay.
So people can always hit me up at 24 Tiffany, TIFFINI @gmail.com. I'm also on Facebook under Tiffany, TIFFINI Mitch Wise. So with that, Larry, we're going to end the show, but don't go anywhere.